Okay, so let's now have our third example. So we have to design the welds on two sides of the angle connected to a gusset plate as shown in these figures. The full tensile strength of the angle is to be developed using E70 electrodes. Use ASD, A50 steel, and one weld size only. The lengths of the welds L1 and L2 are to be proportioned such that the weld centroid coincides with the centroid of the angle. This way, eccentricities in the weld group can be eliminated, if not minimized. Also, the length L1 has to be minimized in order that the size of the gusset plate can likewise be minimized. Okay, so ito yung figure nung gusset plate natin na i-connect sa steel angle, which is yung L4 by 4 by 1/4. Okay? So, ang una nating gagawin is to compute for the base material. Ano ba yung base material natin? Yung steel angle. Okay? Okay. So, from the AISC tables, sorry. Pwede ng table kasi marami rin namang included na sections doon. Okay? For angle 4 by 4 by 1/4, our A or area is 1250 mm squared. Your D is 102 mm. Your thickness is 635 mm. And your centroid along x-axis is 27.4 mm. Now, para ma-minimize natin yung length na L1, which is yung sa upper weld, yung maximum weld size yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So, since the angle thickness is essentially 6 mm, so, pwede natin i-maximize yung leg size na gagamitin natin as A is equal to 6 mm. Para hindi na natin i-minus sa 2 mm. Para mas magamit natin yung maximum weld size niya. Kasi mas malapit lang din naman siya sa 6 mm. So, let's consider it as 6 mm. But we're not using the, okay? So, yung A natin, yung weld size natin, will be 6 mm. So, using ASD, sabi kasi ASD daw yung gamitin natin. Our T is equal to Fy times Ag over omega, which is our 345. A50 kasi yung natin, diba? Then 1250 the area of our steel angle times 10 to the power of negative 3 for our conversion over 1.65. So, we have here 258.23 kilonewton. Okay. So, ito yung magiging tensile capacity natin dun sa base metal natin. Okay? So, base metal na yung gamitin natin. So, kasi naman yung ginagamit natin usually. Base metal. Alright? So, let's now compute for the weld. Okay? So, yung required weld length natin is or will be T times A W 0.6 F E X X over omega. Okay? So, that will be 258.23 times 10 to the power of 3.7 71 times 6, which is our AW 0.6 times 70 times 6.9 for the conversion lang nung 70 KSI natin over 2.0. Okay, so magiging meron pa pala tayong of course yung L. So, magiging natin is yung L, right? Now, yung length natin will be 2 times 258.23 times 10 to the power of 3 over 0.70, 71 times 6 times 0.6 times 4, 83. Okay, inano ko na lang din yung 70 times 6.9. Ito lang din yun. Okay. So, your length here, based on this equation, will be 420.06 mm. Okay. Now, in order for the centroids of the weld group and the angle to coincide o maging isang pwesto lang, the moment of lengths are sum about the line L1. Okay. So, ano ibig sabihin natin na moments of the lengths are sum about L1? Okay. So, I'll draw a figure here para maintindihan nyo lang. Okay. So, meron kang this is your L1. And this is pala yun. This is your L2. If you still remember computing for the centroid of an irregular shape, di ba usually we divide it into basic shapes and compute the total or the compute for the final centroid of that irregular shape using transform formula. O parang ganito din dito. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, or in your static, diba? If you can still remember, yung summation of moment. So, parang nangyayari lang dyan is meron kang, nagsasummation ka ng lines mo and the centroid. Okay, so parang L, summation of L x lang siya, di ba? So, dahil isa-sum natin siya about the line L1. So, kumbaga parang sa moment, kung ano yung summation of moment sa L1, parang gano'n, di ba? So, ano ba yung distance ng L1 to L2? Di ba yung depth nung angle natin? Ang distance niyang dalawa is yung D, di ba? So, ang mangyayari dyan, kung meron kang summation of L times X, yung L about the line L1, yung line 2 mo, eta times mo kay D. Okay? So, parang gano'n ang mangyayari. Hindi na natin i-include yung L1 because isa-sum natin siya about the line L1. So, ang mangyayari dyan, we have LX so, we have L times X. Lagyan natin ng bar para malaman natin as centroid siya. Equal to L2 times yung D natin, which is L2 times 102. Okay? Remember, we have the value of L na 420. Ayusin ko lang. We have here 420.06. And of course, meron tayong value nung X bar natin or yung centroid, di ba? Which is yung 27.4 times L2 times the depth or yung distance ng L2 kay L1. So, we have 102. So, yung magiging ano natin is yung L2, di ba? So, your L2 based from this equation will be 112.84 millimeter. Okay? So, meron na tayong value ng L and total length ng weld natin and yung value for the length 2 or L2. So, pwede na natin makuha yung L1 by subtracting L2 from L1. Okay? So, your L1 will be okay, kasya pa naman. Your L1 will be L minus L2. Okay. L1 natin again is 420.06 minus 112.84 millimeter. We have here 307.22 mm. Okay? So, pwede nating i-adapt na because we already have the exact or required length for L1 and L2, pwede na natin i-adapt to a higher value or round up natin. So, sulan natin adapt L1 to 320 mm and L2 as 120. Round up lang natin siya. So, for our final drawing ng ating weld connection, so meron included na yung arrow and the symbol for the fillet weld and of course the thickness. Lagyan natin which is, or yung weld size natin which is yung 6 mm. So, lagay lang natin dito. Because this is our L1, ang magiging, ano ba yung L1 natin is 320, right? So, yung 320 lalagay natin ito. And yung L2 natin, which is 120. So, lagay lang natin dito sa side na 120. Okay? So, that is your final drawing for our example number 3. Alright. Now, for our fourth example, okay, so we only have to repeat example number 3, but by using 3 welds here. Okay, so meron tayong L1 and L2 again, but meron tayong pangatlo, which is yung nasa perpendicular dun sa dalawang weld natin. Hindi ko na lang in-include dyan, but the weld is in here. Meron ka dyan. Okay? Alright. Now, we have to repeat the example number 3 by using 3 welds to minimize L1 and to save on the gusset plate. Okay, so discuss ko lang. Bakit nga ba tayo gumagamit ng gusset plate? Okay, para saan ba yung gusset plate na sinasabi natin? Or yung kanina pa natin kinukompute, di ba? So, one of the reasons to use gusset plate is to provide a place for the weld, okay? Halimbawa, you have your truss. Drawing ko lang. You have a truss here. Okay. So, blow up natin tong connection na to. Okay? So, ano pwedeng mangyari dito? Meron kang tatlong angle na magko-connect-connect. Diba? So, meron kang, ito yung thickness.